Thank you. Well, let's see what this other one is here, folks.
Is that the guy for zoning? Yes, okay, yeah, he's Asian.
Okay, so I
So I
haven't, I
guess
gotta
we're-
read that email. That came in a second. That's not touchscreen, okay. Meeting is opened, are we being recorded? We
Yes.
are. Yes, we're being recorded, for just once.
Do you have your recorder?
Mhm. Oh. All right, so we were just talking about whether or not we wanted to try to skip around, because we do have, a executive session to do, and we've got other things though that people are here for, so we don't want to go into executive and then. Jennifer's not here, let's see. Okay, so this is, so let's go to, the action item for Asa Kerr. Hi, do you want to come on down?
Sure, okay.
Welcome. Right over there, I think Mary has her, yeah, that's right, you're fine.
She's not here.
Okay,
She's here.
Welcome, so you're, willing to join zoning,
I am, yeah.
Awesome.
Too.
appreciate, are you new to town, or you been here a while?
Just over a year now, so
Over a year.
my wife and I moved here in, July last year. Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome to town, and how did you get roped into this?
This guy back there.
Excellent, okay, so you're on Nybrook, I take it, you're a neighbor? No, you just found
No,
them,
it's a funny story. He's a family connection
Okay.
that just popped up funny. So he knew my uncle a long
Great.
time ago. And,
Excellent. All right, well, we're excited to have you. I would make a motion to appoint Asa Kerr to zoning board of appeals for the term January 27th, 25 through January 30th, 2028.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So your point is, you got any,
Thank
you got any experience?
I
Well,
don't.
too late now.
I have some people in my family that have done this, and I'm happy to read the
Yeah,
zoning laws and all that stuff.
and you've got a good mentor too.
Yeah.
But I didn't either, you know.
So that brings you guys up to 2. Is
Wow.
that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so is that enough for you to have to meet, to have a quorum?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, good.
all right, but we'll still be looking for another person anyway, so that it's not so stressful with just 2.
Why don't you do it?
I think I'm busy enough.
Why don't you do it, Gordon?
Her husband doesn't say no.
Anybody else,
Yeah.
any taker?
Yeah.
I got him out.
Cool, all right, well, thank you, welcome aboard, and, the town clerk can swear you in.
They'll fingerprint you over.
No.
No, just kidding.
That's okay, yeah.
Her office is on the way, it's the first one when you're coming down the hall on
Okay.
the side.
Sure.
And she can, I think she's there, she can swear you in tonight and you
Okay.
can be
Yeah.
ready to go.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
taking
you.
the time. We
Yeah, of course,
appreciate that.
All right, let's see, what else we got?
Might as well do it first.
Is anyone else? I know Jackie's here with me for, to talk about what the. stuff that was- Okay,
Alright, oh my God.
It's just-
you want to do all the water stuff now?
Yeah, why don't we get that water?
Okay. All right, so let's move to new business, water department, data project.
Second.
On, any discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, SCADA project, so SCADA project is on hold, we've not, correct, we're not.
Well, no, we're still trying to, green light letter just came back.
Yeah,
We've processed all 6 reimbursement requests to the state. We don't have any new ones that came in, so we've done as much as we can do. You said it went to the state, the green light letter?
The green light letter went to the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust.
So right now, everything is in Massachusetts Clean Water Trust, which is
There are-
DEP. It's all with them.
Okay.
Next steps, once the loan commitment, I had sent all this to you guys, but there's a bunch of next steps. Once the trust sends the financing agreement and project regulatory agreement, as well as the interim loan closing instructions, We can then prepare the interim loan note closing documents and the note itself. The select board will need to take a vote approving the issuance and details of that note and the later bond. We can have them take that vote ahead of signing the closing papers if you'd like, which I said, no, we wait for
Yeah.
the papers. Just
Okay.
let me know the date of the meeting at which they would adopt the vote and make sure an agenda item to the following effect is on there. So I have all of this
Okay.
once the stuff comes in from the Mass Clean Water Trust. Then we would have a meeting to sign the closing documents
Okay,
and things of that nature, but this is the agreement letter.
okay. So, but what I meant by on hold is that no one is doing any work right now. that
No,
gonna
they're
have
not,
to get paid for.
you owe them, they
Okay.
ain't doing nothing, no, they're done.
So I know you were able to find one contract with one of the vendors,
They
which,
sent-
by the way, I'm gonna be like petty for a second. You said I signed it, I didn't sign it.
No, you didn't sign it, they signed it.
So
But you as being you, I mean, the
Yeah.
board signed it, so I got that right here, I only printed out. So what he said was basically, these are the important pages, there's 876 pages in that contract.
Did that go through our legal before it was
You'd
signed?
have to ask Chris Dunn about that, because,
I was under the impression that it did when we were signing it,
Mhm.
because that was all about the time we were doing the IRA thing with the,
no, that was
Chester.
Chris Dunn.
but I was wondering, now that I've talked to Christina, I found out otherwise. And that really should have,
Was it signed at a meeting?
I don't remember ever bringing it up with Christopher at a meeting, not to say that my memory's that great anymore, but
So,
that's
True.
something would probably stick
true,
there.
true, and it should be in minutes too.
We've had a couple
Something like
meetings
this.
with them, we've had like.
What's the
probably
date on the
3 or 4.
signatures?
Hey, can we just look at the signature page and see if the attorney signed it?
There's nothing else.
Oh, there's no signature. Oh,
Yeah, there is, but.
But there's nothing for the attorney.
Eric, Kirchner signed it, whatever his name is,
yeah.
Yeah.
they signed it.
Chris.
Chris
You know
Dunn
what?
signed
I
it.
didn't-
August 31st. So, I'm just wondering, I'm questioning because, so if, every time we have a contract, we should have this, oh my God, what's the word I'm looking for?
Legal counsel.
Attorneys, thank you.
Yes.
Have to vet it, and then a copy has to go to town clerk, and a copy has to be signed by our accountant before we can sign it, because they're letting us know that.
Correct,
yes,
and that's
it's
what we
available.
thought had
Yeah,
happened.
well, the accountant signed
Obviously,
it.
it hasn't
and-
happened,
Yeah,
because Eric had signed off on it. As you can see,
yeah,
Yeah,
and we thought that that is what would transpire, but obviously it didn't.
okay.
So I think we were all under the impression at that point.
You call it hoodwinked.
So here's my other question, where are the contracts for the other vendors? Do you guys have those?
we have no, we contract with just Brighton Pierce and Bay State, that's it.
But aren't
They're all under Bay State and Brighton Pierce. So it doesn't, all those other
we,
contractors,
so who's, this
They're all
one's with,
subs. No, they're all subs.
correct,
yes.
correct.
So that's not our problem.
so this is
Correct,
just with
okay.
Bay State, and we have a contract with Brighton Pierce?
Bay State and Brighton Pierce, that's the main one to proceed.
This is Bay State, not Brighton Pierce, or you're saying?
I have, that's the pages he told me to pull out, that's the contract to go in, if you read it, it probably specifies exactly who's in that.
This
thing.
just says Bay State contractors.
That's probably
So
just
that's,
for basic.
that's the main one, Bay State contractors.
So do we have one for Brighton Pierce?
Yeah, we got one right in Pierce.
Where's that one?
It's probably one of the other 800 pages.
So it's this part of the same contract?
So we're contracted with Wright and Pierce for the engineering portion of it.
Yeah,
We're contracted with Bay State.
so it should be a separate contract with,
Right,
Right.
Pierce.
Wright and Pierce,
Yes,
right.
for the engineer.
so, but you were saying it's part of the same 800 pages, I'm confused with that.
It came through, it's an 878 page, 876 page contract. That came through, it's all in there.
Is that both contracts were that many? Or just
No,
one
that's the
from Wright
one,
Pierce?
that's the one from Wright and Pierce, that's the entire one from Bay State, the whole
Okay.
breakdown of everything that gets done. I mean, it's
So
a
Wright
highly-
Pierce has gotta have a separate one, period. There's no.
Yeah, the 2007 one, which is the one we probably signed in around the same time, August,
Mhm.
because that's when we started paying them out of our line items for that.
So
I think
our
that's actually
accountant
meeting
and
now.
town clerk and, town administrator have a copy of that one, the Rayton Pierce?
They should, they've sent everything. They haven't held back anything. They've sent everything to us.
Okay,
This isn't a PDF because it's so big, they're not giving you a paper copy. Then there's another one in there that's in a PDF too.
so when you say they, are you referring to Rayton Pierce?
Rayton Pierce has it, Rayton Pierce has a site, you go on, you can download the
But
contract.
we should have our own copy.
I understand that, but you don't have a copy of the PDF, because unless you wanna print out 878 pages,
But we physically signed a contract,
it's right there.
Bay State.
That's Space Station.
It's
She's
Space
talking about,
Station.
she's talking about
So-
Ryan Pierce.
Rayton
we-
Pierce's should be in one of those as well.
Okay, but I feel like we're doing this.
I'm,
If we signed physically a copy of a contract, we should have that paper contract.
right, you should.
You should, yes. And
But
we
you're saying
signed that,
we
we
don't.
signed that.
I don't know if you
Chris and
do.
those guys.
No, you're the water department. You would have a copy of the contract for them.
Yeah, but you guys should too, because you're the executive.
Exactly, but we don't have it.
Why
So
not?
it would come
It
from the
should
water
have.
department.
It should have,
Right, and
Just
you,
sign
and you
all.
should have had this one too, and you both signed it. I'm saying we can go and look again and try to find it, you know, you gotta give us a list of what
Okay.
you want.
So, I mean,
You said you wanted the contract, I got you the contract
Well-
for the project.
Aren't
The
they,
engineering was the first half.
aren't they supposed to be responsible for sending us a paper contract?
They do PDFs, they're
they
not,
send
they
PDFs
send
nowadays.
so
PDFs.
usually what happens is our attorney takes a look at it and makes
Yeah.
changes and then sends
Correct.
back a PDF, which we then either can DocuSign online or print out and sign. But then we would have to make sure that a hard copy got to all of our
Into
offices
your,
that need it, yeah.
into,
Which it fell through a
So-
crack somewhere by the looks.
Yeah, so I mean, the thing is like, this is clearly, it's a huge project, so this is a
Yes.
huge amount of money to not have contracts for it, like our attorneys were concerned with that, I think. There's
Well, I
concern
was-
that things.
I'll be
maybe
honest
weren't
with you,
vetted.
Kara, I was concerned when I found out the attorneys hadn't seen it.
Yeah, so I think I just like, obviously going forward, we need to really make sure that anytime we're
Yes.
signing anything, we have a hard copy, you have a copy, I mean, you can have 10 copies, you can't have too many copies, have copies in your files, make sure we have copies, make sure it's been vetted through the attorneys before anyone signs
Yeah.
anything.
Well, we have one right now that we basically want, that we're working on right now with the grant funding we have. And that's actually been bounced back a couple times.
Which grant funding are you talking about?
The one-stop grant for the 350,000.
Okay, so has anything been spent out of that one yet?
No, of course, we're still back and forth on finalizing the contracting.
Okay,
So we already got a response. I sent it back to Brighton Pierce.
okay,
They're gonna have to deal with it. And then basically agree to it and send it over, because that's what KP
Rayton
Law.
Pierce sent him a contract, he sent it to me, I sent it to
the attorneys,
legal.
okay,
We have a standard goods and services
that
contract
we
that
want to use
should be
instead,
used
yeah.
across the board for all vendors. This would add the scope of work
Mhm.
for that specific vendor. I sent it back to Gordon sent it to Rayton Pierce came back and said, well, we want this,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And our attorney said, that's why we don't sign those contracts, here's the
Exactly.
explanation why,
okay.
and that's where we're at now.
So when we get that one back, I'm sure you'll send it to the people who need to get copies, and then the select board will meet and sign on it. After the accountant signs off on it. But with that grant, I just wanna make sure that we're not spending any money before we have it, because I think.
Well, no,
unfortunately-
because I need the money back from the skater project, because I had
You
money.
can't spend it.
I can't, that grant is a reimbursable grant, so I need my money back from the skater project to put back in my coffers, so I can start that.
Well, when does
Wait
the
a
town
second.
get their money?
So you wanna,
When we get the money back, it's because everything's in place right now, everything's already been set. We should get all that back
All right, and do we have a timeline?
for the skater project.
No, for getting the money back.
Reimbursement.
We're putting out, what, $500,000?
no, we're not putting out
We're not putting out
anything.
anything.
We're not putting out anything.
No, that's
No.
why we're stopped, because
Yeah.
nobody's spending anything. We
Yeah, but there's
owe,
money owed, isn't there?
there's money owed.
All right, and how much is that?
Right now, we have 600,000, but we've gotten bills for 482.
Okay,
Okay, so are you saying that you're gonna use the grant money for other,
You're mixing two projects now.
no, I know, but we were just talking about the grant money that's coming in.
The grant
That's not-
money,
You're
so
only using that for things that are within that grant scope of interest,
they
correct?
have to,
they have, yeah, I have, it's
Yeah,
basically
that's
for, that one is basically for, specifically for, because we have to get approval from the state on what we
Mhm.
can spend, so it's basically for infrastructure replacement and upgrades over by the pike between where the storage tank is gonna go.
Mhm.
And it's for engineering design for the storage tank and engineering design for the new pump house.
Okay,
That's it. And it's broken into 3 parts. It's broken down to 150, 75, and 125.
so
So,
before you spend any of that money, it has to get approved through the grant.
no, so what happens is we need to get the cash back. After everything's all set and signed and done and we're ready to go, we have to make sure we have the cash back
From SCADA, now you're
from
talking.
the SCADA, so we have our 150,000 back in our coffers. Because when they spend, they're gonna say, okay, we've completed this much of the work, here's the bill, you owe me 30,000. I have to then pay that 30,000, take that invoice, submit it back to the state,
And get reimbursed.
then get reimbursed back from the state, which is anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. Then I get the money back and I can put it back in my coffer, then another bill comes in.
So we're using the SCADA loan money.
It's not SCADA loan money. We've had 150,000 in free cash. Specifically, we've been trying to build up so we can do these kind of things.
Mhm.
The problem is because SCADA was so lagged behind and
You
they
used
wanted their
that
money, we had to pay these bills.
Okay.
Because we were kind of led on to believe that this was gonna come in quicker than it did,
Mhm.
and it didn't. So
Okay.
now all our free cash that we're gonna use for this next project has been being held up and delayed in the SCADA project.
Mhm. So you're gonna reimburse yourself 150,000.
We have our number of monies that has to come back to us, that
Mhm.
it has to come right back to us and go right back into those line items to replenish them up so we can
Okay,
keep proceeding along down the road.
So if I understand this right, then the town is not supplementing you for anything.
No,
Okay, so we're not dishing out 400,000.
you're not dishing out
500,000.
anything, not a penny for us.
Okay,
We're,
I mean, now, when you say for us, now that raises a red flag,
for us being water department,
for you being water department,
yeah.
but is the town putting out money?
no,
for
we're not.
water?
We
Not
talked
putting
about
out
that
any-
2 weeks ago. That was
You're not putting any
on the
money out.
table. We decided not to do that.
Right.
Oh, yeah, but it's now,
No, that's not, yeah,
okay, so we're not worried about taxpayer money going
No.
up.
No.
All right,
that's not a problem at all. We told them to halt on the SCADA project.
Until the.
Project.
but there was money owed.
There is money owed.
There is still money owed.
$600,000 owed that is going to be paid when the SCADA money comes in.
Right now, we have $482,000 that's sitting in the state's hand that we're waiting to get reimbursed for. And that comes back in, we're gonna take our part back and we're gonna pay the vendor the remaining amount. When we get the next bill in, which would be bills 7 and 8, those will come in. We'll do the paperwork for that. We'll submit those to the state. State will review. They'll kick a check back to us, and then we'll pay the
I understand.
contractor back on that one.
So
Okay,
now talking about the one-stop grant, you have filled out the grant form with, oh my God, what's going on in my head tonight? Christina, and we're all set with that,
We're-
correct?
The original grant form was done
We,
before my time, but the paperwork that the state contract that One Stop wanted, I did sign for you.
yeah,
Okay. But you were looking at doing some new grant paperwork for in
Once-
town so that we were tracking.
Oh,
things.
yes, once
Okay.
we have our budget sit downs with the finance committee,
Okay,
there's some paperwork that anytime anybody's going out for grants, you have to fill out the paperwork first, get approval so that we know. Is it a reimbursement grant? If it is, you have to give an explanation as to, do you have this money available first? So
Okay.
we don't end up in a situation where it's like, okay, great, you have a grant for $350,000, but you don't have the money to start the first phase of the project.
Yeah.
Can't start it without the money, so there's gonna be more
Checks and
oversight,
balances.
Yeah.
yes.
okay. Okay, do you guys have more questions on the SCADA project?
so in our one-stop grant, when we did that started off with Chris, fell apart. Had Ira, didn't do nothing with it, then Mike came in, it
Went
was a
backwards.
fiasco. And that's when Dave was here, we actually got the passcode from Dave, we had hired Wright and Pierce. And they came through and they actually filled out and they actually did the whole thing for us because they do them all the times. And they actually have problems with their website, so I'm kind of glad we did it, and that's how we ended up getting everything done, so they
Okay.
kind of got everything processed and done.
Now, this water tank installation, I feel like you and I have had a conversation about this before. This project is not a $350,000 project.
This is engineering
Engineering.
only,
Only.
and it's for the water storage tank,
Mhm.
The
the
piping.
pump house. And so that's why the pump house and infrastructure is 125. It's more than because they're designing the everything underground where it's gonna go.
Mhm.
Because the pike is a direct impact on this whole thing, and all the infrastructure going to the pike is gonna have to change. Plumbing off the tank is gonna have to change, everything's gonna be different over there. It's all undersized anyways, it's all 4 and 6 inch anyway, so.
Mhm.
And then we'll have about 125,000 left, so we can actually go out, to bid on that and see what we can get done, for $125,000 worth of work, if any.
Work of beginning construction. If-
Just on infrastructure, digging up, laying new
Okay.
pipes, they're probably gonna be, they may be empty, they may not be, but they're gonna be there and ready to go, so that it'll be like a plug and play kind of deal when we do get the money for the other one.
Okay.
It's not gonna go down in price, so if you get it done, then for that, you're okay. It's not gonna.
Yeah,
come
you
back.
get 100,000 worth of work done, it doesn't cost us anything, it's 100,000 worth of work done,
You bet.
it didn't cost us anything.
Christina, will you remind me the accounts payable?
I don't know. I was wondering the same thing. Why? Accounts payable.
I didn't hear the question.
The water department.
It
accounts
says water
payable.
department's
Accounts
accounts
payable.
payable. I'm trying to
Is that what we're
remember.
discussing.
Those, I didn't make that up. Those were words that were given to me from somebody at
Okay.
accounts payable.
Did you have a question about your
Yeah.
accounts payable?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did, I got a hold of
Get
the
it.
new accountant and she got everything over to us. We'll probably discuss in our meeting, there's still some. With us doing the budget's a little difficult because we have money coming in and going out and trying to figure it out what's going on, and there's some line items the last couple of years that have just been kind of like, they're like doubled up and everything else, so it's kind of hard to keep. I'm hoping they're in our favor.
The thing that I asked him about is if he's been getting his monthly statements
Yeah, no,
from
yeah.
the town, and he said he has not.
Okay.
So I just
We
got one
switched over to
yesterday.
Kelly, and you got one yesterday. Okay.
Yeah, I called and asked for that and the revenue paperwork. The only one I got before that from Kitchener Group was August 28th.
Yeah. Okay.
So mine's pretty damn old.
Okay. So, Kelly should be getting monthly. We should
Because
be
I
back
asked
in that
him what
monthly.
his spending was per month and
Go ahead.
all that.
Joanne?
I think that was, the accounts payable was in reference to the bills that haven't been paid.
Oh, okay.
That's all it was.
Okay,
I
thank
should
you.
have made that up.
No, that's okay. I was
Run
just
on
thinking,
instead
oh
of-
my God, I was panicking a little. I should know what this is. What's going on?
Yeah, so
Um,
that's these right here. These are all our bills for that project. They're all, like I said, everything's all buttoned up, time stamped, everything's done. We did what we had to do.
So, yeah, Jackie and I did the, MMA this weekend in Boston.
How was that?
It was awesome. It was actually a really,
Good.
really good one. And it was great to have Jackie there because she knew questions to ask that I wouldn't have thought of. It was fantastic. But we walked around the vendor aisle and we were looking for water stuff. And we we're talking to someone, they said, you have to go to RCAP. They're exactly what you need. So we went over there and we got some cards and names and exactly who we need to talk to. I think his name was Jim.
Yeah.
But they're federally funded and they come in and assess water departments and we'll look through like management, like all that stuff to figure out what we need, where we're lacking. So I think it's a really perfect situation for us. So we're gonna give the information to Christina and to you guys. And the first step will be asking them to come in and do an assessment. Like I said, it's free for us, federal
Oh, good. I
funding.
was gonna ask you, was
Yeah.
there some kind of a charge or anything?
No, and so,
That's
and
good,
then
that's
we
free,
can, then we can move on from there with them and see what kind of connections they wanna help make for us, what they're suggesting. Cause I know with the next thing on here, staffing, is a concern, cause now, you guys are looking for an administrative assistant.
Well, she's got this, that'll be going over that too. So that's been adjusted out. It's gonna, the bad thing about leaving and having somebody take over is you see what they do. The hours are gonna be reduced.
Yeah.
The job is gonna be reevaluated because like I said, I've been doing it.
Not reevaluated from what you had me post, because I posted the job opening.
That's what it's gonna be,
okay.
yeah. So it's only gonna be like 14 to 16 hours, not 20.
Mhm.
The pay scale is going to be probably around 19, not what it was.
Mhm.
And it's gonna be 2 days, and it's gonna
Is
be
it just
basically,
billing?
what's that?
Is it just the billing?
No, it's basically what it was. I've done that job. That's,
Okay.
like I said, once you get in
Who
and
was
do it.
gonna do training for a new hire?
It's, a lot of it I can do,
I can help with
Joanne said she could
paperwork
help
stuff.
a little, yeah, a little bit like that, and, when it comes to
Not training,
Vadar,
though. Not training.
yeah, no, I can do a lot, of
Make
it,
sure she's set up with.
right, but when it comes like with Vadar, Karen never really did the training, she was very lacking on it anyways.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we're probably gonna have to have Vadar come in, and, we're also gonna bring Steven in to basically sit right there, because a lot of that is in direct.
So you want him trained in Vadar as well?
He's gonna be in Vadar because it has a direct impact on our meter reading as well. So, yeah, he's gonna do it, and I'm, so it'll probably be like
We can,
the
yeah, we
three
can
of
set that
us.
up, okay.
But it never really got, the full effect, and we never really got to take off on it, because she didn't really put a lot of hours and time into it, so it's not like,
Okay,
we were like super trained on it as it was, so.
okay,
But for the basic stuff, the billing and all the other day-to-day stuff, I do it as it is right now, so.
and then there's the report in July, that, report that goes out to all the residents, or.
CCR report.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't nickel and dime with that, we subcontract out to a vendor, we don't.
that's much better, good,
We take all our bacterials and test results, here you go,
okay. that's
send it
good.
over when you're
So
all
that's not
done.
part of it. Okay,
Yeah, we do, no, we don't do that in-house. I've talked to a bunch of other people,
Okay.
nobody does it in-house.
Complicated.
yeah, and they threw it at me
Yeah,
when I
because
first
you
started.
did it
No
one
idea what I
time.
was
Yeah,
doing,
you did it one time.
that was good, yeah,
No,
I thought so.
so, yeah,
they'll have these big crazy templates, and they just go in and
yeah.
run it down and done.
So we had started, not for, right away, but maybe something to think about for next, budget season. We had started to, actually, we ran into Christopher. We had a conversation with Christopher, and he threw out the idea that, maybe we look into doing administrative assistant position that becomes a full-time position for our water and our,
Broadband.
broadband, because they're both enterprise. Broadband would be a smaller portion. We obviously have to talk about how we're paying for that, and how that would, affect indirect costs and whatnot. And then maybe even tying, if we end up looking at a highway position, administrative assistant, and maybe creating a full-time position so we can get someone that is highly qualified and looking for a position with benefits and whatnot. Just kind of to throw that out there, it was just something
I think it's
I
a
thought
smart
it was a
move.
good idea, and
I think it's a
definitely
good
something
idea.
needed. And then maybe keeping someone more long-term instead of, we tend to go through people quickly in those positions, so. So just a thought, just if you wanna start to kind of like.
Well,
run
it's
with
a
it.
lot of it's a lot of things have changed. It's like, for like the way we're pushing out, it's like the idea of having one person do 4 hours a day and handle everything.
Yeah,
It might have worked in 1975, but nowadays with just the regulation alone is murder.
yeah. And if
Um,
that person is trained in Vadar, like you were saying, and they're trained in all 3 of those spots. God
right,
forbid someday we lose, Joanne doesn't want to work with us anymore, that we'll have someone that has some knowledge of the departments that can help, Christina, support Christina and whatnot, so that it's not just kind of scrambling like.
well,
we have
here's
to-
the crazy thing, like when we were doing the one-stop grant, right? So we had Dave, who was the admin for doing that stuff, and I'm sitting here and trying to do this work, and then, I gotta get somebody else, where if you had somebody was full-time,
Yeah,
you know what, the highway, and what we could have said, hey, we're gonna be doing the grants, here's all the information. And we could have had that one person do it for a whole damn town, instead of him sitting there trying to figure it out, me trying to figure it out, and them trying to, you got 4 people doing the same damn thing, trying to figure it out. Where
yeah,
you could just basically give it to one person who knows what they're doing.
so we can look at that, and I know we haven't even talked about, MMA stuff yet, but there was a lot of good stuff that came out of it, and that was just a thought, so. But as for now, we're posting for just the part-time.
Part-time,
That
yeah.
training, and you guys will do the interviews and then send us your,
We've only got one.
so we've got one so far, we just posted it, right? So you're gonna interview and then send us candidates that you think you would be
They're
interested in
worthy.
hiring, okay?
We've got
We'll
one.
weed out the ones that aren't.
Yeah,
There's only one.
So far.
but she's pretty good,
Yeah, okay,
so.
She showed up, huh?
Oh, she's pretty good. She's
okay,
pretty good.
great, all right, so just let us know, we'll put that on our agenda to do the final interview.
Okay.
Just make sure you tell her she needs to take the job. We're all charming and fun to work with.
Yes.
So lie to her, basically.
Actually, I knew who she was from years ago, and I never knew it. And she was whatever. I'm like, whatever.
That could be a conflict of interest.
Yeah, you can't go.
Don't do those here.
I don't vote anyways.
Yeah.
I asked it.
We do, okay, prior, year water billing procedures, so we talked a little about this, I don't remember anything on that we could pay it outside of town meeting, so I guess we're just gonna put it on town meeting.
At this point, I think that's what has to be done. I was under the impression that I was told that there was some agreement,
There was
that,
To pay it
Long time ago.
after,
way over a year ago, a year and a half.
okay,
Because once in a while, one would slip through and then there was a previous balance and it's all in-house. So they went to Kinshirk and said, this is silly. Why are we doing this? Just,
Yep.
can we just pay them? And they said, yes.
okay, but
now they're saying that.
now they're saying no. Okay, so, we'll put last year's.
Kara said it was never a thing.
We'll put last year's water bills from the town onto the next, special town meeting, whenever we decide that's gonna be. But going forward, we're paying them regularly with a check, like via,
We
correct?
haven't up until this point, but we can.
Yeah, we should be doing that, so we should be
I
paying them as they come
I
in.
tried on the last warrant to put them all through with a statement that Kinshirk had agreed to this.
Yeah,
They all got bounced.
okay, the current ones or the past ones?
Past ones.
The past ones,
Including current
Current,
amounts.
yeah.
including, okay.
Including current.
So let's make
The
sure the
whole year.
current ones, we keep putting through so that we don't end up having to do another special town meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a line item sitting out there.
It's right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. All right, so we have an executive session with water department. Is there anyone else? Anything else before we leave? Rainey's not on there, is there?
Executive
Jackie.
water.
Yes, I'm sorry,
Finance
audience
committee.
participation, I skipped that. I'm sorry.
So if you, I know you're probably in a jam on the whole budgeting process.
I just sent it to her like an hour ago.
Did you? Do you need any help or,
We're gonna find out when I sit down with her.
With shit,
well, you can sit
it's.
down with me too.
I can't even get the words out.
She can just send it over. I don't know if I have your email.
I sent it to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I also just got all the revenue reports from, Eric's group, so.
There's a couple of the line items I need to, like I said, one day we can just, if there's a time, just shoot me a time when you're here. I just wanna talk about, because I think they're just like old things that just have, they say 22, and I think it's old stuff that, I don't know, we gotta just look at it, see if they're actually real or not, or
Yeah.
what's going on. I noticed that when something was paid, she took it out of the wrong line item. Cause negative 56% on it.
On your budget, do you have Badar's GL numbers and all that?
You cannot ask me anything on Vadar. So that's been the training right there.
See if I can.
You do have those
numbers.
numbers.
Yeah, that's how you pay your bills.
You give them to.
Oh, the account numbers. Yes.
Yes,
Those,
that's-
yeah, the 16-digit numbers there. Yes.
Badar's not really that hard.
I got a question for you guys. No, where are the two water hydrants that are not working, which the highway department needs to pay for? Is
North
that
Blanford
correct?
Road.
They're both on North Plain.
Yeah.
They've been down for 2 years and this has been slipping. You guys need to step on somebody and get some insurance money and get them fixed up for those neighborhoods.
Well, we're waiting for right now, when we got the go ahead to go through Core and Main, we ordered them up. The problem is
Getting them.
they're getting on right
Okay.
now.
I
So
just
once
wanna
we got
stay on top of
once
it.
we gotten the approval for it, we're all set. And I just talked to him last week. I said, hey, where are those hydrants?
Okay.
And he says, the problem is when they run factory, when you just order the top half, that means they gotta stop, pull somebody off the line just to build the top half. It's like they have the shaft and everything on for the one by,
What are they, the breakaway
place.
ones? Are they the breakaway?
yeah. One was hit twice, and the second time they really
really did it.
it broke it. And the other one, when they hit it, it broke away, but the problem is the breakaway part didn't break where it should have. So it bent the upper shaft. So what they can do with that one is he's gonna show us how to replace the shaft, and the other one is gonna replace the upper.
Well, I just wanted to make sure they were up for spring night, that's all. After 2 years, that's ridiculous as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. One swimmer runs right by you. There's the bag on it. And the other one's down, 2 hydrants on the left. It's again a rhododendron.
I mean, we just approved. them.
All right, I just wanted to bring it up with you guys.
Yeah, but we can't pay it till they get the material in and send us the bill.
Thank you.
But, you know, just to piggyback on that,
Mhm.
those two have been broken. How many others do we have that we don't know about?
Knock on wood, we don't.
Usually they test them every year.
We test them.
Supposed to
We
do
do
every
testing.
year?
Yeah, we do.
So
We have people go out every year to summer night.
Yeah, Did you have anything else, that you wanted to report back from MMA before we go into executive session?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
what I'm gonna do is go through everything and see if there's anything that would be helpful.
Okay,
For the town to know, right, because we did get some stuff
yeah,
for the town. And, they had a lot of stuff on EDB, but. most of these things.
yeah, and the Mass DOT about the conservation
Yeah,
car. I know we wanted to reach out
yeah,
to them.
and we met an individual who has a long history with DOT that we could
Yeah.
talk to about the fire note.
Yes,
And he was like, he
that
says,
was really
oh, I
valuable.
hear you guys are doing that, you should call me.
Yeah, and he was saying that his argument was that towns along the
DOT,
pike
really?
should be receiving more funding to help with responses to emergencies on the pike. So that was awesome. So
That's
we
good.
connected with him. Yeah, DOT has loans for vehicles. And, we were pointing in that direction from the Council on Aging for Council on Aging vehicle.
Yeah, they have to be fully electric.
Do they have to be fully electric?
The one,
Okay.
the grant, oh, you're saying loans, I'm sorry.
No, not loan. Yeah, was it a loan or a grant? It was a loan.
That's not.
Loans.
And then, okay,
So as we go through everything.
Yeah. I left all my paperwork.
If you got that DOT guys, I'd be more than happy to get.
I have
somebody to
his
make a
card.
commitment to
He's-
helping us with the pike.
he doesn't work for DOT. What does he do? Engineering?
which
I
is
got a little
perfect.
confused as well, but he has
now
worked with
works
DOT for a long
town,
time,
but
yeah,
he has a lot of connections.
and was like a ex-trooper, I think. Yeah,
So
A trooper to an engineer.
it's all about connections.
he still had the haircut, so. it was
You
good.
know.
All right,
Executive.
motion to go into executive session. We will reconvene because we have to do more stuff. In accordance to GLC 30A, section 21A2, to discuss reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health. Do I have to read all this or will you just type it in? I don't have to
It's
read it.
already typed in.
Roll call vote, Kara says yes.
Yes.
Roll, yeah, Jeff says yes.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
All right, thank you. Karen. I also had 2 cookies, thank you.
You wanna shut these off?
Oh, we gotta do the, Zoom.
Oh.
Try to make it as quick as possible.
26 hours, I think.
Hell no.